which she would descend. Tuesday afternoons used to be a safe time to take the trip, as Mr. Nick was at his after-school meetings, Mrs. Laura outside in the garden, Marshall at the car wash, and Eddie, typically tucked away in his bedroom reading. The piano lessons, an early birthday present, had changed that routine. But the girl was stubborn. She left the guest room and entered the hallway, the balls of her bare feet treading silently against the floorboards. She opened the door to the attic and climbed the stairs, pulled free the plywood floorboard, and revealed the entrance down into her walls. She'd time her descent, along with the piano teacher's melodies, and with Eddie's attempts to mimic them. This was her house. She'd done things much harder than this. Inside the walls, the piano's keys sounded as though they were underwater. In the dark, she pressed her feet against the wall studs and traced her fingers along the wooden laths to find the miniature grips she'd scraped weeks before. She lowered herself, an inch at a time, patient. More than once, the teacher's melody cut out while the girl's toes were still reaching for the nearest grip, and she held herself still, awkwardly, until the muscles in her forearms and fingers burned. More than once, her elbows and knees grazed the laths a little too firmly, causing some part of her to wonder whether Eddie's mistakes, the faltering, hesitant strokes, were from having heard her and pretending to have not. "Come on, little guy," the piano teacher said, his voice rising into a higher pitch than necessary for a boy who was nearly 13, almost 2 years older than the girl. "Just play the notes," he said. "Come on, watch my fingers. Just do what they do." The girl rolled her eyes, as if the trick to playing well was knowing you were supposed to use your fingers. The teacher went through the melody again, and she touched her toes down on a floorboard. With relief, she eased the rest of her weight down. Slowly, careful not to bump against the wood on either side of her, she shimmied through with her leg out before her, leading her like a divining rod through the dark. 2, 3, 4. She counted her steps, brushing the dusty floor with her heel until she found it. The loose board. The girl paused. She waited until both Eddie and the instructor began playing their melody at the same time, their rhythm slightly off, Eddie's stumbling fingers filling the silent rests between. While they played, she pushed down on one end of the thick floorboard, causing the other side to bow up. The board was nearly as tall as she was. She lifted it, gently. Then she slipped down beneath it into the hole, her legs pushing through itchy, rotted insulation until she felt cool dirt under her feet. Simple. Hardly anything to it. Under the floor. The cat's nest was tucked away in a corner of the crawl space beneath the house, just beyond the reach of the thin beam of light that bled from the hole in the house's foundation. The nest was hard to find, hard to know what it was even if someone were looking right at it. The cat had left few signs behind: the shed fur upon the flattened insulation, the faintest imprint of its paw in the dirt, the light warmth beneath her palm. Anyone else would have missed it. Since the girl had moved back into her home, into the walls, she liked to think she saw the world differently. She lay on her back and stretched out her arms and legs, imagining herself a sea creature undulating out over the dark ocean floor. It smelled like earth down here, wet, rich earth. She relished the scent. It wasn't easy for her to get. Down here, the piano's keys were muted, but she could still hear the thumping of the instructor's heel banging the rhythm for Eddie. He banged.